Hey guys, welcome back to the Phoenix Rising podcast. I am back on video. I am not in my car going off on my soapbox about the things last week about being how you are not powerless. So I am very grateful. Thank you. I got some really interesting feedback from that podcast episode because sometimes when I am like fired up and just like super like, all right, I want to say all these things, but I have no idea how this is going to land. It's always interesting to me the feedback that I get because some people are like, yes, I agree with this. Thank you. Other people like feel like it's exactly what they needed, where they were starting to play a little bit of the victim in their life. And then they said they listened to the podcast episode and they're like, wait a minute, I'm not powerless. There's a solution. I can figure this out. So thank you to everybody who sent in some feedback in that. I really appreciate that. And it lets me know. So one person was like, whew, that was some serious, like tough love right there. And I mean, the intention behind all of that was said in that episode and in this podcast in general is it's not necessarily tough love. It definitely is love, just because anytime I feel like I am settling or you are settling or the people that I care about deeply are just struggling to like see their self-worth, or maybe they're forgetting where their power lies and they're getting too caught up in like other people's drama. I say these things because I want you to continue to become your best self, move in the direction that is in your highest path. So I'm glad that you guys liked that episode. Thank you so much for telling me how it landed for you. I appreciate that. On that note, this week's episode is all about finding your tribe and finding your people. So I don't really like that's such like a what's the word? Lingo trending fad of like your tribe, but I don't really know how else to describe that. Like in business terms, it's finding your top five. Who are your five, your core people, or who are your people in general? So I want to talk about this because I think right now, so many people spend so much time alone, myself included. It's just either you live alone or you work from home, so you're not in a normal work environment, or maybe you're in leadership somehow. So a lot of times people in leadership and entrepreneurship or high performers, because you have to lead everybody else, you tend to feel a little bit isolated or alone in that. So I wanted to talk about this because it's just this common thing. And I don't remember who it was. I was on the phone with somebody a week or so ago, and we were talking about like social media, but then also like trying to find connection. And what I was saying was the current social dilemma and conflict is the entire world lives on social media. The problem, though, is everybody is desperately seeking and craving face to face human interactions. The part that's the problem is everybody's craving human interaction. Nobody's doing it. So people are being forced to go on social media trying to find it. And it creates this vicious cycle. There's a really good talk. It was either a psychologist or a scientist or something was explaining why this is such a huge problem, other than the fact that like we continue to live in like a disconnected world. Like, let's be honest, like if you think of the people in your life, and this may not be true for everybody, but I would say it's definitely true for the majority. If you think of the people you talk to on a regular basis in your life, who are the people that you share your deepest intimate feelings with? And I'm not necessarily talking romantic, just in general. Like, who are you most vulnerable with? Who are you being real with? Who are you on the phone with for an hour? Like, having some real talk about what's going on in your life, good and or bad. Like, who are those people? And most people, I don't think, like, you can have a huge social life and you're always like going to events and parties and dinners and group workouts and all those things. But like, that's great. But out of all these people, who are you actually like getting to know deeply, and who knows you deeply, and who knows your goals, and who knows what path you want to head on? Because I care about that more than anything. So this psychologist was talking about how the human brains in a normal, natural environment, we would not interact with hundreds or thousands of people in a given day. Our brain can't handle that much social interaction. It gets overwhelmed. However, in social media, that's what we do. We interact with more people every single day on social media than we do in a normal day-to-day life. Like if social media didn't exist, you may interact with like let's just say like 10 humans. You go to the gym, go to a coffee shop, maybe you talk to some coworkers, maybe you go to the grocery store. Like that is how our evolution as humans has been built so that we have like tribes, which is where that came from. Find your tribe. We have those tribes, we have those communities, we have those core knit groups of people. And it's not the masses, it's not the thousands. It's very small, intimate groups. But this conflict is everybody wants human connection. Nobody knows how to socially interact anymore. So everybody goes to social media and then they get on social media and they feel more disconnected because they're watching all these people live these lives that aren't real. So I wanted to talk about this today about like finding your people and finding your tribe. And it's so like this happened a while ago, not where I am now, but like a year ago, I was at a gym and the gym has always been my social life because I'm there 5 days a week. I see the same people at the same time all the time. And because of that, I intentionally put forth effort in saying hi to people or like talking to them, or if I see them out and about. And it was so awkward when this had happened before, because when I would start meeting people and talking to them, like, how's your wife? How's your husband? How's your kids? How's that job thing going? How's your family? How's all that? Like, there was like this like awkward response. And I didn't really get it, even to the point that like some people were interacting. I can remember, and this still happens. This still happens today, where there's people who I see in the gym, we don't necessarily interact, and they find me on social media and they'll be like, oh, hey, blah, 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 like great workout or whatever they'll say. And because of that, I see that as an open door, like, oh, cool, like we can be friends, like let's interact. And so the next time I see them in the gym, I'll interact and I'll be like, hey. And when I say hi in person, the response of like, oh my God, she's interacting in person, I don't know what to do with this, is almost humorous, not in a bad way, just like a social experiment way of like, this is so interesting. Like, I am making people uncomfortable interacting with them in person and not on social media. Like, what? It's such like a brainwash issue we're having right now. It's because everybody has this false illusion. Oh yeah, like I have all these friends. I got 1,000 friends and 1,000 followers and this and this. I'm like, yeah, but how many of those people like do you actually see face to face? And how many of those people know anything about where you're at in life right now? So I don't hate social media. I'm grateful for social media because it has allowed me the opportunity to connect with a lot of people that I wouldn't be able to connect with without it. On top of that, it's given me the opportunity with this podcast to reach people that I wouldn't have been able to reach without it. But I feel like there needs to be a reeling back in of reality and human contact just in life in general. Like, I called the other day, my TV wasn't working, and I was like observing the experience that I was having because I called and I knew I was going to talk to a robot at first, like, thank you for calling, blah, 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 blah. Press 1 for English and 2 for Spanish. If you would like to leave a message, whatever. So I was like, all right, 1 for English. And I went through the prompts thinking like, all right, I'm going to get some customer service representative and now I'm going to have to explain my issue. I went through the robotic prompts and then I got a robot. She's like, hi, my name is Jennifer. I am AI, but you can treat me just like a regular customer service representative. How may I help you? And I was like, Jennifer, get me a human representative. And it transferred me, but I was just like, wow, like this is insane. Like everybody is wanting and like desperately needing human connection because so many people feel like alone and isolated and all this stuff. But the solution that people are having to go to is social contact, virtual contact. And even like I've had clients where we work virtually for a long time and we have these conversations, we get to know each other very deeply. And then the first time we see each other in person, there is a little bit of like, oh my God, you're real. Like it's just a different energy. So having your people, finding your people is extremely important. And I want to preface this with, if you don't have any of your people right now, that's okay. It's probably better. And then having the awareness of like, okay, these are the kind of people I want to surround myself with in my life, than for you to have 20, 30, 40 friends, but if I asked one of them an intimate detail about you and none of them could answer, those aren't friends. Those are people that are just filling the space of human connection that you need. So finding your people. There's so many books on entrepreneurship, and this isn't just true in entrepreneurship. This can go for any goal that you have. If you want to get in better shape, be around people who are going to help you become in better shape. But in entrepreneurship, like that's one of the first things you're taught is your income will be the sum average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And if you don't believe me, think of the 5 people that you talk to on a regular basis. Think about how much they make and then take into consideration how much money you make. It's probably within a ballpark of what all those people make. There's a lot of reasons for this. It's also the same too when it comes to your fitness. You are probably going to be in whatever shape or health as the 5 people you surround yourself with. So if you have 5 people who are all out of shape, you're probably not going to veer too far off of that. Goes with relationships, goes with any kind of goal or lifestyle that you have. So when you're starting out and you're figuring this out, it's a little bit of a challenge because there's obviously fear in letting go and also fear of meeting new people and like allowing space to be there. But we're going to talk about all this because it's super, super important. And even I would venture to argue that most people, if you look back at the times in your life when you just felt like you were like on your game, like just, man, you're just crushing it. Like you felt good, you were clear, you're crushing your goals, you were in great shape, great health. What was your environment like and who were the people that you were interacting with the most? And more than likely, they probably embodied some aspect of that that you were feeding off of, that just like trickled on to you as well. And that's why, like, when you are starting a business or anything like that, you need to be in some, either having a mentor or a coach is going to help hold that vibration and that energy for you so you can move into that. Otherwise, it is very hard, not impossible, you can do it, but it is very hard to, you're kind of going against the current a little bit if you are surrounding yourself with people whose life and goals are not in alignment with who you want to be. So finding your tribe and finding your people. The whole quote is about finding like the top 5 people. I don't think it has to be 5. I don't think that really matters. I would even narrow it down to 3. I don't know about y'all. I'm not like a big group person. I feel super lost in big groups, not in a bad way. I just feel like I can't connect with you the way I want to connect with you when there's big groups. Because what happens in big groups is people lose the intimate conversations and connections because they're just too worried about making sure they're talking to anybody and everybody and being seen and being heard. That is like, hey, how are you? Great. How are you? Okay, cool. How's that thing going? Awesome. All right. Well, I'll see you around. Let me go talk to this person. But there's not actually any real connection happening. So top 3, maybe it's top 1, maybe it's top 2. I don't really care, but just dial in that social circle. So think of a goal, any goal, and you can do this with anything in your life. I always feel like taking out a piece of paper and pen is very impactful. It's also scientifically proven that anything that you do mentally and you connect it to a physical movement, it has a greater impact on your subconscious mind. It's called somatic techniques. They do this in therapy too. When you're talking about something, if you're doing bilateral movements, it has a greater effect on the brain because the mind and body are connecting, where when you just think about things, the body's not necessarily connecting to what you're thinking about. So when you think about a goal and you do the physical thing of writing it out on paper, you're hitting a lot of different subconscious points from the physical aspect, from the brain to now your mind and your eyes are seeing it and digesting all of that. So you can take out a pen and paper, write out your goals. Maybe it's financial and career. Maybe it's health and fitness. Maybe it's relationship. Maybe it's something totally different. It doesn't really matter. But so write those out, any category or all categories. Then I want you to think of the type of people and what character traits they would need to have that could help you hit those goals. So you can also do this in reverse. Sometimes it's easier and just eye-opening when people do this in reverse is take out a piece of pen and paper Write out if you don't have 5 people you talk to all the time, I don't have 5 people I talk to all the time. I have like 3 or 4 people I talk to regularly. Maybe you have 10. Whoever the people are you're talking to all the time, just like write out their name at the top or to the left or however you want to do this. And then underneath it, I want you to write out all the descriptors about that person. So descriptors would be like, they're motivated, they're ambitious, they're healthy, they're strong, they're fit, they're inspiring, they're positive, they're optimistic, they're encouraging, they're loving, they're supportive, they show up, they're reliable, they're loyal. Or it's they're broke, they're lazy, they're wasted all the time, they're negative Nancy's, they constantly complain, they're always sick. It doesn't matter. This is not about judging it. It's giving you a clear overview, because in order to move in any direction in life, you have to first understand what you're working with. So you write that out, all the people, like these are my best friends, this is family, these are coworkers, whoever. And then I want you to write out the traits that you would describe that, and be honest. Don't try and sugarcoat it. If somebody's an asshole, write out they're an asshole. If somebody's rude, write out they're rude. Just be honest, because this isn't about them. This is about you and figuring out what you need to do in your life. After you've done that, well, actually, no, we're not going to skip this first. After you've done that, now I want you to write out, who do you want to be? If somebody was like, hey, describe Ashley to me, what do you want them to say? How do you want to be seen? Write out all those things. I want to be seen as this, 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 this. I want people to think of me as somebody who is motivated, somebody who hits their goals, or whatever is important to you, financially successful, I don't know, a good person. Write all those things out about yourself, okay? So you're doing your top 5 people or 3 people or 10 people first, all their descriptors. Then I want you to write out yourself, all your descriptors, and then I want you to do a comparison. Are the people's descriptors that you wrote out in alignment with who you say you want to become? There's probably going to be some people that you're like, no, if I keep hanging out with these people, I'm going to end up broke, lazy, fat, and unhappy, and depressed, and miserable, and addicted to all kinds of stuff. Or maybe there's people that your bond is in being like directionless and lost. So they're not bad or good or anything like that, but they're kind of like just all over the place, aloof, kind of, I don't know, whatever happens, it's not a big deal. That's probably what's going to happen to you too. You're just going to wander around and not actually get anywhere. So take this into consideration, look at it side by side, and be honest. Who are you giving all this energy and time to that is not in alignment with who you want to be and what you actually want to work towards? And start making changes. And you don't have to be like rude or mean or anything about this. You don't have to go call that person and be like, hey, I can't have you in my life anymore. You're bringing me down. You don't have to do any of that. You can just start to kind of like open up the space and the energy and the time that you're giving to all those people to allow someone new to come in. I was telling somebody this in the dating world recently of, man, of basically when we give energy to something or we don't give energy to something, we are communicating with the universe, yes, more of this, please, or no, no, thank you. So in this particular situation in the dating world, there wasn't necessarily, trying to think about how to say this. Nothing was good or bad or right or wrong. As you've heard me say, nothing ever is. It just is what it is. And then you decide like what direction you want to head. So there were some things that were out of alignment and some things that were in alignment. And we all get caught up in this, especially in dating, of like, is it the right person? Is it the wrong person? How do I know if they're the one? They're not the one. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to miss out on this. If this is right for me, how do I know? All that really matters is, how does that person make you feel when you're around them? And you can use this outside of dating too. You can use this in friendships or family members. How does that person make you feel about yourself? Do you walk away feeling like, God, I just feel really good. Like I really enjoy being in that person's energy. They're light, they're inspiring. Like they respect me. They just feel good to be around. If so, That is somebody you want to just like cuddle on up to, keep them close because their energy is in alignment with moving you in the direction that you want. However, when you have people, when you walk away and you're like, oh God, like it's so draining. Like, I don't want to talk to them. Like, all they do is complain. They only talk to me when they need something. It's always about them. They're never reaching out and like asking how I'm doing. And so you're walking away from that. You kind of feel like crap about yourself. You feel not valued. You feel worthless. You feel taken advantage of, or like somebody just like dumped their problems on you. If anybody makes you feel that way, distance yourself, open that space up for somebody else. And this is what I was saying to this person in the dating world of the more you continue to participate in these experiences with other people who make you feel like shit about yourself, you are still telling the universe, like, yes, more of this behavior, please, because you continue to participate. If you don't want that behavior and you don't want to be treated that way, stop participating in it. Stop participating in that. Stop giving that your time and your energy and attention. And instead, just kind of like take a step back. You don't have to like cut things off. You don't have to do anything abrupt. You just step back and be like, you know what? I don't really like the way that I feel when I talk to this person. Or I don't really like that they do this or that. That's okay. I don't have to convince them to change themselves. But I'm just going to take a little bit of space, open that space up to somebody who is in alignment to what I want and who is somebody who I walk away from feeling good, feeling positive, feeling filled instead of drained. So when you're thinking about this and you're like, all right, I want to find my people, who are the people that you spend the most time with? What are their qualities and values? Are they in alignment with who you want to be? So it's kind of where you start. Now, there's the other side of this that a lot of people are at where they're like, okay, I only have like one person that I talk to regularly outside of like mundane things. So I actually have like a gap. I have one person. I don't have 3 people or 5 people. That's okay. So what you can do then is you can take out a piece of paper. You can do like health and fitness. You can do career. You can do relationship, whatever category you need. Maybe it's spiritual. Maybe you want somebody that's like religious or into a spiritual thing that you're in and to grow with. You can do that and you can write out the qualities in those things. So hypothetically, because I talk a lot about health and fitness, let's say it's health and fitness. Let's say you want to get stronger. You want to clean up your nutrition. You want to quit going out so much to bars and binge eating and using food as a coping mechanism. You want to really be around somebody who has a good mindset or whatever. So this is your category of health and fitness. Underneath that, you're like, all right, so the kind of person that I would want to be in my circle of people for health and fitness, I want somebody who also is committed to going to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, who also prioritizes their health by eating at home more often, eating clean, taking care of like the food they're putting in their body. Also, somebody who's committed to personal growth, who isn't consumed with gossip and drama and crap. Instead, they're filling their mind with things that help them grow, with books, with podcasts, with music. I want somebody who's doing this, this, and this. And you write all these things out. Then what you do, your responsibility. So you are not responsible for figuring out who that is. You can leave that to the universe or God or source, Buddha, whoever. Your responsibility is to get clear on the kind of people you want in your life. And then you set the intention and you create the space for those people to come in. So going back to the health and fitness thing, if you're like, this is the person I want in my life who I can have as accountability, but also as somebody who I keep in a close circle so that I continue to move towards my goals. You've made it clear on the type of person that you want. Now, your responsibility is to keep that space open. And that may mean spending less time with somebody else so that you can open up this time for somebody new. Then put yourself in a position to find somebody like that. Where does somebody like that go all the time? The gym. Okay, so if you're going to go to the gym and you're looking for somebody like that, you have to open yourself up to whoever is there, setting the intention. Your intention is, I would like to find a like-minded person in health and fitness. So my responsibility, I'm going to go to the gym because obviously on this list is somebody who goes to the gym 4 to 5 days a week. I'm going to open myself up to actually interact with people face to face and not freak out when somebody does this. And I'm going to let the universe decide who the best fit for that is. How do you know who the best fit is? You just know, just trust your gut, trust yourself. You can do the same thing with your career. If you want somebody who's like excelling in their career, they hit their goals, they're number one in the team, they're whatever, like make your list of that. If you want it in a romantic sense, write all the type of qualities and characteristics you want in a romantic partner. Open up, stop, as I used in this example, stop giving your energy to things that aren't that and open up that space. All these things, though, you then leave it to the universe, source, to bring the who that is for you. And here's what I love. Here's what I love to remind myself of, because sometimes you do go through gaps. Sometimes it does get a little discouraging because I've had people, I've had clients, they're like, okay, I did all that. I set all my intention, but I haven't found anybody yet. What happens is that is okay. That doesn't mean you just go back to the people that you were giving all your time and energy to who weren't really in alignment with you. You trust. And what I always remember is everything is a magnet. So think about this. There is a perfect vibrational match for what you are looking for, who is also looking for you. So I always, if I get like stuck in my head or if I'm feeling discouraged and I'm like trying to meet people in different areas in my life, I always like do my little meditation. I take a few deep breaths. I connect to myself and I remind myself of what you want wants you to. What you are seeking is also seeking you. If you are seeking a new friend in the gym who has all these characteristics, there is somebody who is also seeking somebody like you. If you're seeking a new romantic partner who has all these characteristics, there is a match for that who is also seeking somebody like you. If it's finances, if it's career, whatever that is, what happens though sometimes, and the problem is, we get caught up in how or what that should look like, of how it shows up, what it should look like. And to give you like kind of an example of that, like let's say you're going to the, you're like, yes, I want to find this health and fitness friend. And you're going to the gym and you're going to the gym, you're staying open, you're talking to people and you haven't really figured that out. But then maybe you go to the grocery store or the bookstore or the coffee shop and you kind of close off there because you assume that person is only going to show up when you're at the gym. Letting that go and just remembering like all I have to do is stay open. All I have to do is allow. Maybe you meet that person at the grocery store in the organic produce section and they're like, oh, hey, yeah, I eat super clean. I go to this gym. Let's do that. It's staying open and not closing off to the how that shows up. And this same person with the whole dating thing, I was talking about this in regards to dating apps because she was feeling frustrated with like, well, if I stop giving energy to this, how am I ever going to meet somebody? And I, quite honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have that answer. But what I do know is if you continue to put forth energy into things that don't feel good, because she doesn't like dating apps don't feel good to her. So don't do what doesn't feel good. When you pursue things that don't feel good, you are kind of in conflict with your own goals and what you say you want. It's kind of like saying you don't want to drink anymore, but then every Friday night you're texting your friends to figure out where everybody's going and which bar you're going to hang out to. It's like, okay, well, if you're going to continue to do things that don't feel good and that you don't actually want, how is the right thing supposed to show up? So stay open. Stay open. Like, and part of this is us letting go of control. Let go of control of how things show up and just trust that they do and that they will, as long as you continue to hold on to what it is that you want. Don't worry about the timeline. Don't worry about the process. Don't worry about people coming and going. You just continue to connect to yourself and stay clear on the direction that you want to have. And the interesting thing is, life has a funny way of kind of taking care of things for us. I've been reflecting on this a lot recently because part of like my own inner work I've had to do over long periods of time is not worrying about figuring everything out. That's constantly my default is like, all right, I got to do it. It's the idea that I have to do everything. I have to figure it all out. The universe doesn't know. If I don't do it, who's going to do it? And that's just like Part of that is from being an entrepreneur, and like you kind of do have to do everything. Part of it is like defense mechanisms, fear of like, if I don't do it, nobody's going to do it, then who's going to take care of it? But I've been reflecting on this a lot recently because I've taken a different approach in my, we'll call it practice, in my spiritual growth practice of I didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to do anything to show up in this earth. There's a lot of things that you don't do. You don't have to think about breathing, your heart beating, your stomach digesting your food. You don't have to think about like, oh, there's just a lot of things that you don't have to think about that happen for you. So, in regards to this and the people coming in your life, it's just so interesting because I've had a couple things the last week where I've had to say goodbye to a lot of people. Not bad, just the ebb and flow of life. Like some people are there for a long time, some people are there for a season. Like people come and they go. And prior to having to saying goodbye to a lot of people, I could already sense that there was like an ending coming in certain situations and certain scenarios. And as soon as I started sensing it, I was very grateful and appreciative because, life just kind of handled it for me. I didn't have to like abruptly cut people off. I didn't have to have this like super stressful conversation. I didn't have to figure out like what I was going to do. I didn't have to do anything. It was just, okay. And now it's time for these people to leave your life. And I know just through experience, there's going to be a little bit of time where there's all this space. And then life is going to bring in new people. Like that's just the way it goes. But what I would encourage you, and where I think a lot of people get stuck or they find themselves falling back into old habits, is in that ebb and flow of life, the letting go and the letting in, the letting go and the letting in. A lot of times when people are in the letting go and they're kind of in that little space before they're in the process of letting in new people, that space scares a lot of people. That space where you're in the unknown, you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know if or who anybody new is going to come. Honor that space. That space is so important. And a good friend of mine, her and I were talking about this because she had this happen in her business where she was letting go of like a business and she knew it was time to let go, but she didn't know what was coming or where she was headed, which is so scary. And people do this in relationships too. They know when like, all right, a relationship hasn't ended, but like you can feel like this relationship has served its purpose, but you don't really know if there's a brand new relationship right around the corner or if there's ever going to be a new relationship. You're just in that like down, not in a bad way, just like a downward letting go. And her and I were talking about this with her business of like, you can sense it. You can feel when the journey is done and it's coming to an end, but it's so scary when you're in the in-between, as you've heard me talk about in the Bardos, the Buddhist term for the in-between life and death. So it's a term that came up for like when people are dying, but they haven't totally had their rebirth. You're in this in-between, this like weird metamorphosis, transition, shifting, changing thing. But the in-between is so important because the in-between is where you learn to let go. You learn to just connect to yourself. You learn to trust. And in that, you allow that space to stay open so that the things that do want to come in and that do want to find you actually can. But I think a lot of people get scared in that in-between because it is a letting go of control and it is the unknown. So they either hold on to what they need to let go of, or they hurry up and try and fill that space with just anything or anybody because it's so uncomfortable being in the in-between. And everybody knows this. Like that in-between sucks. Let's be honest. And that's what I was telling this friend with her business. Like the in-between totally sucks. It's quiet. There's not a lot going on. You're not really sure which way is up and which way is down, but you don't want to go backwards. So you're trying to go forward, but like, you're not in control of that either. You can't force things to happen sooner than they're going to happen. But if you will let yourself stay in the in-between and use it and see it as a blessing in disguise, as an opportunity for you to reflect, think about what the journey is and that you just came out of. Reflect on it. What did you learn? What would you do differently? Who have you become? What were the lessons that it taught you? then spend that time in the space of appreciating it, reflecting on it, recognizing everything that came out of it. And then when you're ready, get clear on where you want to go. And then all that's going to find you. That's the thing we forget so often. And I know this isn't just me, this is all of us. We forget we are magnets. Like attracts like. We forget that when we connect to ourselves, when we are solid in who we are and what we want, we don't have to go searching for the people. We don't have to go find the friends. We don't have to find the relationship. We don't have to find the job. We don't have to find any of that. It all finds us because now we are just in the state of being where we understand our worth. We know what we want. We know where we want to head. We know who we are. And then all those things are just like, oh, hey, we're heading in that direction too. Come on aboard. Like, let's do this together. So if you're doing this whole exercise of figuring out, like, finding your people, if you're like, God, there's a lot of people who like me, but there's not a whole lot of people like me, do this exercise because there is a portion of responsibility that you have to take of no longer giving energy to the people in your life who are not in alignment. And don't take responsibility for how it makes them feel when you take space. That's not, and I don't mean that in an insensitive way. It's just life. You take space. It's not because anything's wrong. It's just, I think I'm going to open up myself to maybe some things that are more in alignment with me. And that's okay, especially if some of those relationships are one-sided. You walk away feeling drained, tired, depressed, worried, anxious. I mean, it doesn't matter because the second you stop doing that, you're communicating with the universe of, no, thank you. No more of that. I've gotten clear. I'll take some of this, please. And then you just let it happen. So finding your people is first you finding out what it is that you want in each area of your life, getting clear on that. By getting clear on that, you're setting the intention. By setting the intention, put yourself in situations for those people to find you, but also stay open to situations that may seem unlikely, but still possible that you can meet someone. Like I said, like if you want a new gym friend, you might meet that friend at the grocery store. You might meet them at a coffee shop. You might meet them walking around your neighborhood. You never know. Just stay open and remind yourself when you start to worry. It's not going to happen. Nobody's coming. I've been alone. I'm stuck in this space. Whatever that is, if you are in that Bardos in the in-between of letting go of those people who no longer are in alignment with you, and like you got that little gap where the new people haven't quite come in, just remind yourself, what you seek is also seeking you. What you want also wants you. So all you have to do is trust that, keep reminding yourself of what you want, and then allow life, the universe, to bring it to you. But you got to let go of control. And you have to just, trust the process of life. So that's what I wanted to talk about today because I know, and I've had so many conversations with so many people over the last week about like people feel alone because our society is a lonely society because everybody, it's so frustrating when I hear these things and like people are like, I just really want real connection. I want deep, authentic, human connection. And I'm like, great, that's awesome. And then you go somewhere, and then these are the same people who, when they have the opportunity for human connection, they're glued to their phone on social media, they're texting, they're making like every experience that you're having the human connection, you got to like snap it and put it on social media. It's like, you say you want this deep connection, but you're seem to be more concerned with like making sure that deep connection exists in the virtual world than it does here. So in a world where I think everybody needs and craves this real human interaction and these authentic relationships and intimate relationships, the only way that's ever going to happen is if each person takes responsibility and stops putting energy into the things that aren't that, gets clear on what it feels like and looks like to have that, and then you set the intention and you do whatever you can do to foster and create those relationships. And as a warning, I will say this, life sometimes like throws us curveballs. So let's say you're like, you know what, I'm no longer gonna spend time with this friend because I'm realizing when we hang out, they don't ask anything about me. They don't know anything about me. They only call me when they want to bitch and complain. And every time I walk away feeling exhausted. So you're like, you know what? No, thank you. I want a friend who shows up, who is invested in me like I invest in other people, who is supportive, who is positive, who's optimistic. You do all these things and like you have that moment. And then like 2 days later, you meet somebody who seems really interested in being a new friend. And then they start to kind of like have tendencies like the one you just let go of. Do not fall for that. Just take those and be like, oh, I can see. It's almost like the universe does this thing where like you're like, nope, no more of those people. And then it sends you somebody like that. Like, are you sure? Because this is the level of like your energy's been at this for years. This is the kind of friend you always wanted. So we're going to send one more. Are you sure you don't want narcissists anymore? Are you sure you don't want to be a therapist for your friends anymore? Are you sure you don't want people who only call you when they need something from you? You're like, yes, I am sure. No, thank you. You like further validate it by saying no, and then just stay open to the new. Another thing I will tell you is when that happens, it is going to feel probably very uncomfortable and unfamiliar when those new people show up because you haven't had people like that in your life before. So if you, going back to the gym analogy, are like, hey, you know what? I want somebody who's at the gym 4 to 5 days a week. They take care of their food and nutrition. They're getting normal sleep. They're not out late partying. They're growth minded. So they're focused on like books and podcasts and music that are uplifting. If you've never had that, keep in mind that when that does show up, it is going to be a very different friendship than you are used to. So that person is going to hold you accountable. That person is going to be like, hey, we go to the gym. It's 9 a.m. You said you were going to be here at 8:45. Don't let that discourage you, though. It's just unfamiliar. The same thing in dating. I tell girls this all the time. If you are used? Yeah. If you're used to being in a relationship with somebody who takes you for granted, who doesn't respect you, who treats you like you're a dime a dozen, if you are used to that, it is going to feel awkward and uncomfortable and unfamiliar when somebody shows up who respects you, prioritizes you, takes time to get to know you and invest in you. It's going to feel awkward, almost to the point that sometimes people are like, I don't know, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right because you've never been treated that way before. That's all. So keep that in mind. Same thing with, like I said, with the job, career, finances. When the new thing shows up, do not be scared or tempted to fall back into your old patterns just because it's uncomfortable, it's unfamiliar, you're not used to it, and it intimidates you. It's a good sign if it does all that because you're doing something different than you've done before and you're allowing yourself to be around people who are different than who you've been before. And you're going to become somebody different than you have before because you're opening yourself up to this new experience. All right. That's how you find your people. That's how you find your tribe. Take out the pen and paper, do an honest assessment with who the people in your life are and what their characteristic traits and qualities are, and see if it's in alignment with the direction that you want to become. And if not, open up that space, get clear on who you do want, and then trust and allow and put forth the energy and intention to create those human connections and relationships. Because I really do like, I mean, I want more than like, if there's a way I could do this podcast live and like talk to everybody like in person, face to face, I totally would. Because I would rather have that opportunity to have the human experience too. It's just everybody's kind of all over who listens to this podcast. But I know like that's what everybody wants. Every single person I have ever talked to and continue to talk to, if I was like, hey, how do you feel with human connection? You have plenty of it, you're good. Every person I talked to is like, you know what, honestly, like I wish I had like really close friends who were like into this stuff that I could talk about mindset stuff with, that really like held me accountable, that actually knew what I was dealing with in my life. Okay, well, what are you doing to create those things? Are you putting forth the energy to find those relationships or make yourself available? And then when they are made available, are you actually being present and open to them? If not, it's a two-way street. You got to put the effort into it too. So yeah, so go write out your list, get clear on what you want. And I mean, I realize like one person doesn't necessarily change the world, but I feel like little by little, if each of us who says that this is the kind of life we want and the human connection that we want, if we each take responsibility and start making these changes slowly but surely, there is a ripple effect that happens. And maybe it's just in your community, maybe it's just within like your social circle, but it still makes an impact. So don't take it for granted. All right. That's it. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Podcast? No, podcast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you have not already, so that way you can be the first to know when these new episodes come out. If there is a topic that I have not talked about that you would like me to talk about, then shoot me a message. You can shoot me a message. Gosh, now that I've been talking about social media, on social media, I actually do respond to every message that I get. Let me know, because I love hearing from you and I love hearing more about what you want to learn or what you want to know about. So thank you so much for watching. I am Ashley Drummond, your host, and I will see you on the next Phoenix Rising podcast. Bye, guys.